All right, continuing on. We just cut out the stomach, and the stomach was right here. We can actually see the pancreas much better now that the stomach is gone. The stomach was cut from the esophagus and from the duodenum. Here you can see the duodenum. The duodenum is the first part of the small intestine. So if I have this and pull on it gently, I can start to hopefully... Oh, nope, I broke it. Well, this is the small intestines. There are three parts of the small intestines. You can't really tell the difference just by looking at it, but we know that it's the small intestine because it has a small diameter. Compare that with these tubes, which are much larger. This is the large intestines, which we'll get to in a second. But these tubes are smaller. This is the small intestines. The small intestines is three parts. The duodenum, which is really a short part. The next part is the jejunum, and the last part is the ileum. I-L-E-U-M. You can tell the difference between those microscopically, but we'll get to that later. So all of this is small intestine. One thing I want to point out is that these tubes are held together by a special membrane. I said that most of the liver, the stomach, and most of the intestines are covered by this membrane. This membrane covering the tubes, that's the peritoneal membrane. But you can see this connection between the tubes, and I can cut it here to separate the tubes out. That's the mesentery. What's helping connect and protect the intestines, that's mesentery. The small intestines is small in diameter. By being small in diameter, and also by being very, very long, that increases surface area for digestion and absorption. So the small intestine is only small in diameter. It's actually very, very long, much longer than, much longer than the large intestines. Much longer than large intestines. This is only just a part of the small intestines right here. Large intestines, on the other hand, is much bigger in diameter, but much shorter. By the time food, or waste, I should say, gets to the large intestines, we're really just absorbing fluids, getting some vitamins with the help of bacteria, and getting ready to get rid of waste. So this is the large intestines, much larger in diameter. The large intestines will end, and I'm going to cut the intestines out so we can better see everything. Large intestines will end. Here's the last part of the large intestines going here. And deep to here, we'll find the rectum. So the last part of the colon, the intestines, is the rectum. That's where feces is stored. From the rectum, then we come out of the anus, where defecation happens. So that is the digestive tract. Now that we've removed the intestines, we can see some other organs pretty clearly. Once again, here's our pancreas. The pancreas is retroperitoneal. Here are the kidneys on either side. The kidneys are retroperitoneal. You can see I can tear this membrane and remove and see the kidneys a bit more clearly. So we're going to take each of the kidneys out because I want to show different types of cuts that we can do to a kidney, or really any other organ. Kidneys are for filtration. They filter the blood. So there are blood vessels coming in at this medial point of the kidney. There's a renal artery delivering blood to the kidney. We get filtration happening and more processes that we'll talk about later. And then blood exits through the renal vein. So I'm going to cut that section. One more thing that I want to show while it's still connected. The kidney not only is connected to arteries and veins, but there's also this tube leading down and draining to the bladder. Once again, here's a urinary bladder. This tube is the ureter. The ureter drains urine and stores it in the urinary bladder. So I'm going to cut that. Cut the arteries and veins. Probably should use a scalpel since I've smushed it a little bit. There we go. All right, so here is one kidney. This is superior, inferior, medial, lateral, because we have the right kidney. I'm going to cut the kidney in half longitudinally. This would be a frontal cut in humans. Being very careful with a sharp blade. here we can see inside of the kidney. What I want you to notice, and you'll have to just trust me because you can't really see it without a microscope, but the kidney is made of tubes, and each of these tubes are lined up radially, so facing this way, and this way, and this way, and this way, all towards this center area where urine will collect. So it's made up of a bunch of tubes. So that's what the kidney looks like in a frontal longitudinal cut. If we take the other kidney out, we can cut this a different way and get a different view of how it looks. So we have the left kidney, the ureter is kind of attached still. I'm going to cut it in half this way. This is a horizontal cut. In our horizontal cut, that's not as good. In a horizontal cut, we can still see the tubes, but now it's a cross section, so they're just roundish things here. You can see it's kind of fibrous. Those are tubes. Versus longitudinal tubes, you can see how it spreads out like that. Those are longer. So this is a frontal longitudinal cut. Here's a cross section of the kidney. Same organ, different views. It's going to look different.